Here's your host, Clay Nelson.
Hey, hi, this is Clay Nelson Life Balance Hour. And today's show, boy, we're going to get into it today because we're going to talk about what is true. We're going to talk about truth. We're going to talk about speaking the truth. We're going to talk about what we get when we don't. We're going to talk about when somebody asks us, how do I look? And you go, you look great, but you really don't think so. Or somebody asks you, well, did you enjoy that meal? And you say yes, and they give it to you 3 nights in a row, and you didn't like it the first time. What do you do about it, you know? So it's all about the truth. Like, what's the truth in government nowadays? What's the truth in the Fed, you know, and what's going on with dropping the global interest rate, you know, down to 1 point? And how's it going to affect the middle class, more commonly known as me? And what is the truth? What is the truth about the medicines you're given? You know, is it really going to help you? What's the truth about the cost of those medicines? And is it really worth it? So it's all about really getting straight with yourself about truth, you know? Like, does A plus B really equal C? Now think about that one, okay? And is Timmy telling the truth when they throw the ball through the window? Like when Timmy said, I didn't throw it. So, and what is true about when one side is saying about the other in any one of the many political races that are going on now? How do you know who to believe? How do you know what to believe? How do you know that if you vote no, it doesn't really mean yes? When you think about that, the way things are worded, you know. Are you being true to yourself? Are you living a life that really makes you happy? So the truth mechanism today is, you know, pretty involved. And if you're the only person that has a say in how your life turns out, are you truly living the life that you love? What do you think about that? Now, this is a radio talk show. You're listening to KZSB AM 1290. And the call-in for local number is 564-1290. And long distance is 866-564-1290. And you can email me like most people do at clay@mediasb.com. And we're live streaming today, and everything's up and working, huh, Diego? Yep, everything's up and working. So you can go to www.claynelsonlifebalance.com/watch, WATCH, and you can see us live on the air there. And if you want to sign in, give me your password and your username and password, then you can email, and we can talk back and forth live right on the air. So come on, let's party down, all right? Some of the show quotes today are pretty good. Pearl Bailey, remember Pearl Bailey, the black phenomenal singer, blues singer? Says, you never find yourself until you face the truth. Wow, isn't that something? So come on, give me a call, local 564-1290, long distance 866-564-1290. And we've got some emails coming in already, so we'll do that in our first email in the next segment. So now, the last truth is the truth that I most want to address today, and that is there any truth out there? So think about that. After a while, you start wondering, what if there is truth? Is there really any truth? Is anybody saying the truth? Can you trust anybody? Can you trust the government? Can you trust the church? Can you trust your neighbor? Can you trust the newspaper? Can you trust the TV news? What do you trust? Because every time you turn around, you find out that somebody said something or is doing something that's not exactly what they say that's really going on. You know, one of the things when I was researching this show is I was looking at how people say they have certain banners or awards or medals they've won in wars. And this group had gone through and looked at all the people that are high up in government who say they have various medals from fighting in various wars. And 40% of those people weren't telling the truth. 40%. Some people had in their gravestones that they had the Medal of Honor, the highest award a wartime veteran can get. And several of them, it wasn't true when they did the research. So people make up all kinds of stuff. And if you tell the story, or if you tell the little white lie long enough, you start believing it. And I got to tell you, I've been caught up in that a couple of times, like how cute I really am. Sometimes I look and I don't really see the cuteness, but I've been telling the story for so long, I just buy it. What do you think? Can you get that? I don't hear any laughter out there, you guys. So I'm just kidding on that one. Now, so when we're it's like they had a show on several years ago, and I guess the reruns are still on. It's called The X-Files. And the theme of the show is the truth is out there, all right? So when we're debating the existence of aliens, yes, the truth out there somewhere may be there are aliens, but what's really true for ourselves? What do we really believe? What is the truth about what we really believe about us? Think about that. What is the truth about what we believe about everybody else? Can you get that? How about this? My neighbor just put up a fence, and he asked me, hey, what do you think of the fence? And I said, gee, it looks great. I really like it. And the truth is I didn't like it. It doesn't fit into the neighborhood. But it's not my fence, something he wanted to do, and I'm not really attached to it. So I didn't want to get in a big discussion about whether I liked it or not, so I just said what he wanted to hear. So I'm just as guilty of it as anybody else. But it's really amazing when I drive by that property, I look at that fence and I go, nope, don't like it. So it's just the way it goes. So what do we do, and simply, how do we handle the things around us that we don't say what we really feel truthfully about? All right? And what are we doing with what we love to do? If we can't do what we love to do, what do we do? What's the rest of it? So how do we handle that? And who are you pretending to be, and how much is that hurting us on the inside? When you don't say what's really true for you, what's that like for you? And what's the truth about what you do and don't want in your life? So think about that. All right. So the show today is going to be all about the truth. And so those of you that are going to change the channel, get back here because I'm going to be talking about you anyway. So what's the truth about how much time I got? 3 minutes. All right. So in this next 3 minutes, I'm going to tell you, I've got all kinds of examples about the day-to-day truths of living life. And throughout the whole next 3 or 4 segments, it's going to be all about you getting a sense of humor about what's true, about how you interact with the truth, how you interact with what you believe, and how you interact with saying things you don't really believe. It's not really a morality issue. It's just about how we automatically say things sometimes that isn't quite as true as we want it to be. So I've got a caller coming in here. Let's see what's going on here. So hang on a second. Ian. Yeah. So Ian, hi.
Well, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
You talk about telling the truth, and you talk about this election and so forth, and people not trusting the politicians.
Yeah.
Especially when they start telling you what they're going to do for you.
Yeah.
And you are always talking about what you are going to do for yourself, taking personal responsibility. And I'm having a problem with the juxtaposition there of voting for these people to do stuff for us, and at the same time, it's up to us in the long run anyway.
Well, it's up to us to hold them accountable for doing what they say they're going to do. Okay? You understand that? So it's like there's voting for someone to get them in the office based on what you believe they will do and the power they have to get things done with the group that they're working with, okay? Mm-hmm. Then there's the holding them accountable for doing what they say they're going to do and not letting them change direction like a lot of politicians do. So it's really 2 different things you're talking about, you're lumping into one. One is you have to really believe in somebody to vote for them. Then the next thing is you're going to hold them to their truth by actually hold them accountable for doing what they say they're going to do.
Okay. But you also talk about, of course, I'm responsible for the changes in my life to make things happen, right?
Yeah, for you personally,
For me personally, okay.
Yeah.
So if I want my dreams and my hopes and my aspirations to come true,
yes,
and I'm going to answer the question posed to us about 30, 40 years ago by Reagan, are you better off today than you were 4 years ago?
Oh, that's a difficult question to answer right now.
Well,
right now the answer is no.
Well, I'd have to say that the answer to the question isn't so much yes or no, it's more you're not doing it whether it's yes or no for me or not. It's not up to you. If I'm responsible for me and my dreams and making those choices, then it doesn't matter whether it's yes or no for you, Mr. Politician.
Okay, but what's missing when the politician doesn't do what he promises or doesn't do what you voted him into office to do? What's missing?
The accountability.
Yeah, the accountability. So what needs to be increased more and more by the American public, the onesie-twosies, us, all right?
Yeah.
The voting public. We need to not go brain dead after we come out of the voting booth.
Aye.
All right.
That's why I vote by mail.
That was good, but you know what I'm talking about,
I
right?
do. I absolutely do.
That's right. So you got to stand up and scream and holler and make sure you have their phone numbers and you call them and say, hey, look here, Mr. Senator, here's the deal. I voted you in because you said you were going to, and you have it. Now, when will you?
I got you.
Okay?
Very good.
Good. Thanks for
Thank
calling
you.
in, my friend.
All right. Bye.
All right. We're going to go to break now. You're listening to Clay Nelson Life Balance Hour. Gee, I'm starting to talk, with that accent. It's pretty good, huh? Yeah, that Irish accent is really good. So you're listening to KCSB AM 1290. Get on back here, and that's the truth.